The end of the year is almost here. We're going to talk about what AEW needs to do to right the ship.
Yes, we are.
Welcome to the Wrestling Council. Welcome to the Wrestling Council. I'm your host, Comic Book Bob, joined as always by HW.
Yeah,
Hollywood.
baby. Oh, yeah.
Catch us here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking about all the news in wrestling. You can also follow us on social media. You can follow the crawler below. You can also find it in the description on the show. And here we go. Everybody love everybody. That's right, man.
Hello. Sorry, I have a fever and don't know how long I'll be able to stick out, but I had to leave something on record.
Yeah,
I was
hear you,
right.
brother.
I
know
was
what?
right.
Yep.
Bob was
Everybody
wrong.
love everybody.
Did-
Come on. Come on.
I just have to leave it registered. I was right. Bob was wrong.
Right about
WWE audiences know nothing about what happened to Punk in AEW.
Nope.
Thank you. Another dub for Johnny.
They don't know. They don't know and they don't care.
Yep.
But
And let's see how long I last.
yeah, okay. we'll get going as quick as possible.
You,
But real
you
quick,
know what is a travesty?
what's up?
Had to endure somebody ordering pizza with meat, cheese, and banana on top of it this Saturday.
What?
Yes,
What was on a pizza?
banana. Good old banana.
Huh?
Yes.
Good Lord, dude. Well, real quick, let's check in with everybody here. Maldecito was first. He said, "Sup, people? Eyes here. What's up, Maldecito?"
Sup?
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 Hello.
What's up?
Whoa.
What's up?
Pizza with banana.
You sound so enthusiastic, Johnny.
I am that.
Oh my God, man.
I went to this like big family reunion and I came back sick, obviously, and I don't like that.
Of course, dude. Yeah, every
I
time you
don't
go
like
to
that
those
one bit.
functions like that, some palsy member of your family is going to bring something with them.
It was so many people. I didn't know the organizer was like like almost the mayor of the city we were going to, so they called so many people.
But Hicksville was next day. He said, "What's up, man? Appreciate you being here." Malice says, "Feel better, Johnny." Yeah.
Thank you.
Big Daddy, the Guardian of Chaos. He says, hey yo, what's up, Big Daddy? Appreciate you being here, man.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo, from Big Daddy.
I just did it.
I didn't see it.
I just did
I
it.
did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. I got it there. So
All right. Let's go. Let's go.
appreciate you being here, sir. Hicksville said Rollins' speech was 100% original. Who's Hangman? Yeah, we're gonna talk about that, man. Oh, jeez. Oh my God.
We see what you did there. Now let me show what you wanted to do.
Yeah. All righty, but yep. And like I said, let's get this thing going here before we get started in the main topic. We're gonna touch on a little something we like to call the good, the bad, and the ugly. It is my turn first this week, and guys, you know me. You of course you know exactly what I'm
In
talk about.
Japan.
So
You're gonna talk about.
Japan.
You're gonna talk about Impact again.
No, oh yeah, Impact. Yeah, no.
You got to talk about CMLL.
I'm going to talk about Wrestle Kingdom, the lineup for Wrestle Kingdom, and dude, it's going to be badass. It's like this thing is shaping up. Obviously, there's a lot of crossover between New Japan and AEW this time. Matter of fact, there's 3 matches involving AEW talent.
But Tony didn't put the Danielson man in the glass case like we told him to.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. But Yeah, so far confirmed, we've got Shingo Takagi versus Tama Tonga. That's going on, dude. Shingo Takagi is awesome, dude. I love that guy. Hiromu Takahashi versus El Desperado for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Bullet Club War Dogs versus Clark Connors and Drillo Maloney versus TJP and Francesco Akira. Dude, TJP's awesome for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. Gorillas of Destiny versus Bishamon. But the matches that I'm really interested in, these are the big ones here, man. Will Ospreay versus David Finlay versus Jon Moxley for the newly announced IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship match. The Global Heavyweight Championship to replace the US and UK title that was destroyed by David Finlay. That's the first crossover there. Obviously, Sonata versus Tetsuya Naito for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. That's going to be awesome. And then Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada. If he freaking makes it there, because Jesus Christ, dude.
Just one thing for the Moxley match. Can them paint the ring red like preemptively?
What's that? He played red, so yeah. Oh yeah, you know he's gonna blade.
Come on, also, you didn't mention your favorite guy from there. Is he not on the card?
Who's that?
Yujiro
Takahashi. Oh my god. No, but there is Zack Sabre Jr. versus Hiroshi Tanahashi for the World Television Championship. But yeah, so some good matches, dude. It's shaping up to be awesome. They'll probably be announcing a couple more matches because it is a 2-night event. But three banger matches right there, man. Sonata Naito, Danielson, Kazuchika Okada, and then Ospreay, Finlay, and Moxley. I'm predicting that Will Ospreay is going to be taking this one. I think they want him to that title is basically a belt that can be, defended across platforms, and I think that's the whole idea behind it. So, but that's my good, my bad. The flip floppers on the Seth Hangman promos with CM Punk, the same people who were bitching, pissing, and moaning about Hangman's promo are praising the shit out of Seth. And they're literally beat for beat the exact same freaking promo.
Well, they had a plan for the first one that it wasn't followed. This one they just
a shit, man. Punk riffs all the time.
I give a shit.
It's like, God, it's hypocrisy. It's stupid. Okay. So, but here's the thing.
Had they told them to shoot, I would have no problem with it, but they didn't.
Punk does that. Okay. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I like CM Punk. I'm actually mostly in his corner, especially on the last event that happened. But Punk is a diva, and he gets his panties bunched up over the dumbest shit. Sometimes over the dumbest shit. And this was one of those things. It's like it's stupid, man. It's hypocritical. Because it's literally like you listen to them both. They are, and by the way, they're both great promos. By the way. I'm down with Seth versus.
Yeah, this one's gonna be good.
It's gonna be, dude. It's gonna be great. And obviously, Punk announced that his official return to the ring is gonna be at the Royal Rumble. He is gonna have a house show against Dom between now and then. But
that's a shit. Well, I hope someone tapes that because.
It's safe, man.
It's like 20 years in the making. This feud.
Yeah. But yeah, like the hypocrisy of the people who poo-pooed one promo and then praise the other. It's like, shut the hell up, man. It's the same shit. Okay, but anyway, the ugly. Maxine Dupree versus Rhea Ripley. Oh my freaking God. That match was a freaking abortion, dude. It was a train. Absolute garbage. That kind of shit's how and listen. You put the inexperienced person in there with the experienced person so that they can produce a decent match. But if you don't know how to perform a goddamn movie, you don't know how to do it safely, don't friggin' try it.
Shout out to Jade Cargill.
People on the shelf, okay? And Maxine Dupree looked god awful in this match. I mean, just the drizzling shits. She botched a friggin' power bomb twice.
Yep.
Okay. Couldn't, every time Rhea tried to pick her up, she just flopped like a dead fish. And then tried to do some weird aborted freaking Hurricane Rana that almost busted Rhea's face into the friggin' ring post. And then she threw a kick that literally caught Rhea full force right in the spine. I'm telling you, man, like I said, if you don't know how to perform the damn moves, don't freaking try it. That's how you hurt people. That's how, like I said, that's how you put people on the shelf. And if you guys saw this match, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was god awful. This is the match. This is the women's match you're going to put on. It's like, what the hell's going on? Okay, so Hicks Millen, someone told me that it was a much better match, and that it was, but whatever. I don't know what the hell was going on. Either she was drunk or high or something was going on, man.
Sometimes it is
bad.
Sometimes it is in your night, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Dude, I'm telling you, I don't know what was going on. Either absolute 100% miscommunication, but Rhea tried to pull the power bomb off twice, and Maxine Dupree literally just was like flopping, like she didn't know what she was doing. And but then that kick, man, was definitely bad. I'm gonna tell you what, man, I guarantee you Rhea had some words with her in the back because of that crap. But yeah, that was, oh my God, it was awful. And that's the women's match they put on the freaking show. Of all the shit you're gonna do, that's what you're gonna do. But anyway, that's my GBU. Frank, what do you got, man? Yeah, Merry Christmas, guys.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
13 days away.
Yep.
I'll be spending the Christmas with that guy right there and his family.
Yeah, prime rib lobster tail, baby.
Can you take a picture with the 4 fingers up just for posterity?
Yeah.
There's an extra one for you.
Sounded like the same one. I'm getting scammed.
Yeah. All right. My GBU. First on personal, my G. For me, I'm still with the same company, Monvin Group, which owns Burtwood Tavern, Leo's Italian, M Italian, and Aaron and Moses, which is a restaurant on a golf course at Glen Eagles in Twinsburg. And this guy is the front of house server bar manager for the restaurant Aaron and Moses on the golf course at Glen Eagles. Nice. So I am happy for that with me. Like I was telling Rob earlier, just to be able to walk outside in the summertime, smell the grass, sunshine, hear the birds chirping, the breeze outside. It's just breathtaking. I can't wait. So that's my personal good and my Merry Christmas to me. So thank you for everybody making that happen for me. But back to wrestling. My good. The classic.
Continental Classic.
Continental Classic. Still some good matches. Bryan Danielson versus Andrade. Claudio versus Eddie Kingston. No, and some okay matches. I mean, I did not expect Jay Lethal or Mark Briscoe to win their matches, but
I wish they had at least let them win one, because like I said, when you mix it up a little bit more like that, you spice it up a little bit. It makes it better. But I understand why they're going there.
Just one thing, Danielson is clearly not used to wrestle with one eye, and I hope he doesn't watch anything badly to get hurt, because
I'm going to talk about that.
Oh, look at that, my Piata crew.
Mountaineer said the Miz showing the job guys how to get it done. The bad, just tired of drama in wrestling. Yeah.
What would he talk about if there was no drama?
I just think people are tired of CM Punk being at the center of it. They're like, let's move on to something else. But it's what's going on, so it's what everyone's talking about.
Yeah, and these these guys were with me at Piata in Parma, and
Yep.
Piata Italian Grill. If you don't know what that is, best way to describe it is Italian Chipotle. I was there for a couple of years, but now I'm on to bigger and better things. So, but yeah, Continental Classic, my good. See how it ends on World's End at the end of this year, but we'll see. My bad is I'm tired of this. Being tired of this whole devil angle with Max.
Oh God, yeah.
Like I know it's hopefully going to end at the same pay-per-view World's End, but it's.
I'm telling you, when this thing started, and I said that the world title was going to be devalued, I didn't think it was going to be this bad.
I don't. Well, Tony's making the same. I really feel like Tony's making the same mistake here that he did when both of his male and his female world champions got hurt, and they did that whole interim title shit. It's like this storyline should have been wrapped up months ago. You know, just cut your losses and move on.
Or if Max can wrestle, just take a break on this one and move on for now.
Yeah.
I just think whoever it is the fans are going to be disappointed.
Yeah,
whether
because
whether it's Adam Cole, Sami Callihan, Wardlow, whoever. It's just
you didn't even mention Jack Perry there. Imagine that.
no, I didn't mention Jack Perry, but it's just not going to get the wow factor that I think they were looking for when they initially started it.
No, and Cole getting hurt is what's caused this to happen because it was not meant to go on this long.
I promise you, they've changed who this person is a
At
lot
least
of
twice.
times. Yeah,
Probably at least twice. And the situation is, this is another thing with Tony is he doesn't like letting go of storylines. And if something breaks down, you need to pull the plug on it sooner rather than later. Because at this point, it's turned into the drizzling shits. And the same thing with the friggin' the Roddy neck strong thing.
Yeah,
that thing is just it went from being it was funny for 5 minutes. Now it's just stupid and it's taking up time.
I would just like to go on record again saying I dislike that from the start.
it's him screaming at him over and over again. It's just like, okay, move on. I'm just tired of it. And then my ugly, Rob had one, which is great with Rhea and Maxine, but I'm going to stay on the AEW bandwagon, and it's why does Nick Wayne's mom need to get involved in storylines?
Yeah.
Because Christian said something to her and Tony thought that was going to be money.
She's not a wrestler. She'll never be a wrestler. You don't need that in the storyline that much. She's overstayed her welcome. Her and Karen Jarrett.
Oh God, dude, Karen Jarrett's even worse.
But the whole thing is
going on record a lot. That happens when I'm sick, but Big Daddy's right.
Yep.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it's because of the stopping and starting. Obviously the injuries aren't his fault. Injuries are going to happen and whatnot. But yeah, the stopping and starting is like his momentum goes up, it goes down, goes up, goes down, and
I can remember the first thing they did in a feud of his was try to kill him in the Lights Out match with Orange Cassidy. I think that was in Cleveland. You guys was there, and I messaged you right after the show to ask if he left walking because the way he felt was terrible.
Yeah,
he felt like straight on his vertically on his head from the stage, like above there.
Yeah, it's and it's unfortunate because I do like Adam Cole. I think he is a talented guy, but if once the guild is off the lily, man, you got to move on.
Yep.
You know what we should do?
What's up?
Make him Keith Lee's manager.
Make him Keith Lee's manager, like they were gonna do in WWE.
Yeah, he's gonna be fantastic. That and ends up being good. Can you imagine the?
He keeps. I tell you what, he keeps getting hurt. He ain't gonna have any choice.
But, I don't know. Yeah, but they may be on the road to recovery as you're title up there says, but not with crap like that.
No. And that's something that, again, like I said, we're going to touch on all of these things going forward. But
What do you got for GBU there, Johnny?
you got anything to add, Johnny?
Just one thing I would like to make it like commented a bit. They gave up. Did they give up on Jack Perry because he's going back to his old trademarks now?
It's very possible, dude, because this issue, the issue with Punk was just the latest in a string of stupid shit that he did. So they may just be tired of his bullshit. Because there was that incident with him and that fan where he basically just like just verbally berated some fan for asking for an autograph.
Something the fan paid for, actually.
Yeah, for something that the fan paid for. And then there was also an event where he was supposed to go for a signing and he didn't show up. And so yeah, he's been acting like a petulant child for a while now. So, but all right, that's the GBU.
Well, I'm sorry to cut this short, but I need to go take some Tylenol.
No problem, brother. You go home, you get out of here, get better, and we'll talk to you next week, man.
Yeah, do what you need to do, man.
Thank you, guys. Merry Christmas. See you later.
Christmas. Yeah.
Have a good one, Johnny. But yeah, it's weird, man. AEW, like I said, just heading into the topic like we were talking about, AEW's in a weird place right now. And we're going to talk. Obviously, we're going to talk about what we think that Tony needs to do going forward. But I have a question to ask you, Frank, and to everybody that's watching.
Question time.
As the last month or so, since the whole CM Punk thing, Tony's booking has been really strange and kind of slapdash. And looking at the way things are and the way he's done things, it kind of feels like he's in panic mode. And like we talked about the situation with what happened with Punk and everything, and how this is not something that you're going to recover from in a month. Like this is going to take a while for them to reset, find themselves, and retool and move to the future. I was saying that it'd probably take at least a year to recover from what's happened. The way Tony's been booking and also announcing the Continental Classic, because which obviously this tournament was all for Bryan Danielson. It's 100% all for Bryan Danielson. But why not wait until next year after January when he's completely? Because here's the thing. All right, so the whole eye thing with Andrade was a work. 100% it was a work. Okay, you're talking about Bryan Danielson here. He's the master troll. Okay, you gotta remember, this is the same dude who pretended to have a seizure. Okay, he does these things to work the crowd to get them invested in what's going on.
All right,
but he is legitimately injured and he is having trouble seeing out of that eye right now. He has a fractured orbital bone, and the doctor said it was not going to be fully healed until January. He came back at the end of November. Started wrestling matches again at the end of November to be part of the Continental Classic. Why didn't Tony just wait until next year when he was fully healed to do this tournament? He didn't have to do this tournament now. It feels like, to me, like some of the booking that Tony has done, kind of pushing Bryan Danielson out there, because Bryan Danielson is the guy that he chose to replace CM Punk, because all of his plans centered around Punk. Okay. Punk, the minute Punk showed up in AEW, he became the face of the company. And when all this stuff went down, it feels like Tony was trying to, to me, it feels like he was trying to recover in a couple, like instantaneously, which is not possible. And he's making some bad decisions as far as booking. So to me, the Continental Classic being done now feels like a desperation move by Tony.
Yes and no. I think if you wait till January, you have to go up against Royal Rumble.
Oh well, then wait.
And
wait till February.
The way AEW is structured, with still trying to get going, still working out their contract extension with Warner Brothers, still trying to figure out what they're going to do if they're going to be doing a pay-per-view every month of the year. We'd rather do it now because there's no guarantee that Danielson doesn't have a setback first of the year.
Okay, but there's a better chance that he has a setback if he's wrestling injured. All it takes is one wrong move. Someone puts an elbow into that eye or something like that, and he's on the shelf for like 3 more months.
No, you could. Copeland could take the wrong bump and be paralyzed for the rest of his life.
Oh, well, I understand that, but
it's just a risk you take. And like Malasito said, I mean, Danielson pushing himself. He could have always said no.
okay, but like I said, I always also said that there are times when you got to protect these guys from themselves. Okay, so it just feels like to me that having the tournament now is a desperation move.
It probably is.
And I think the contract thing is a part of it.
Contracting is a part of it. CM Punk leaving is another part of it.
Yep.
Ace Steel leaving is another part of it. The other executive leaving. There's a lot going on backstage in AEW that's going like this, so it's really not in a good place right now.
Yeah, and to be fair, everything that we're saying is speculation because we're not in the back, we're not in the part of these meetings. We don't know what's 100% going on. We can just go with what we observe. But to me, you don't, in my personal opinion, you don't need to do this tournament now. And I think this just it endangers Danielson getting hurt worse before he has a chance to completely heal. And that's the other thing too. Like a lot of it is the wrestler themselves. It's just like we talk about Moxley doing all this crazy shit, going through plate glass windows and stuff. That's unnecessary, but it's what he wants to do. But I do feel like that there are times, just like when he did the skewers thing in the top of the head. I'm like, dude, you didn't need to do that. That's ridiculous, man. And like I said, as the boss, I feel like sometimes Tony needs to step in and be like, "Hey, yeah, we're not going to do that." Yeah, see, I agree with Daddy. I think it's foolish of Danielson to do this on his part, but I also think it's reckless of Tony to do this. Especially considering that he has so much wrapped up in Danielson. Since Danielson, after Punk left, he kind of pinned his hopes on Danielson. Danielson became the face of Collision.
Yeah. So, the problem is you have Punk gone, you have MJF hurt, you have Jamie Hayter hurt.
Yeah, which she should be there.
Adam Cole hurt.
Yeah.
You have these guys, Jungle Boy suspended. You have all these guys that, granted, you have other guys there, but you need to have a top guy there. Christian Cage and Adam Copeland aren't your top guys.
I understand that, but at the same time, I feel like it's better to eat some mediocrity in the short term so that you get all your people back when they're healthy and they're strong, so that you can move forward at a better pace.
I don't think you ever get all your people back healthy and strong. There's always, like in the E, there's always going to be somebody hurt.
Yeah, but then there's other decisions that they've made. Like right now, Matt Menard is like on fire, dude. Like if the promos that guy's doing, the reaction that the crowd are having with him, he's on fire. Why aren't you pushing that guy? They just had a match and this is another thing. And this is like one of the things that I'm going to point at going forward that I think they need to do going forward. When AEW first started, one of the things that was really interesting was, unlike WWE, when somebody was in their hometown and they had a match, they almost always won. They got put over big. Okay. And WWE was the exact opposite. Now that's completely flipped. WWE is doing that where, because Triple H is in charge, and AEW is like, they're having people lose in their hometowns. Like, they had a 2.0 in a match this week, and the crowd, granted the crowd wasn't very big. It was only 2,800 people, but they were rabidly behind 2.0. And they had them losing. What the hell is that about? You know, it's just some of the decisions that Tony Khan's making as far as booking is concerned just don't make any freaking sense. Big Daddy said, "I'll always be a fan, and I'll probably always watch. And today's product can be unwatchable and very unnecessary with the insane dangerous stunts. That's why everyone is injured and only wrestle 50 times a year." Yeah, I agree with you on that. I do understand that to a certain extent. Tony wants to let these guys create. And letting these guys kind of create these matches is one of the things that makes AEW exciting. But I do think that there are times when, especially in AEW, when they're taking risks that they don't need to take. And when you're, a big part of the product like Moxley is, which I'm amazed Moxley hasn't been hurt more in stuff that's going with the crazy shit that he does.
He's part cyborg. What do you expect?
I don't know what the hell is with that dude, but he must be like friggin' Wolverine. CJ Perry is an insult to the business and they're just tits and ass with minimal talent. You know what? Here's the thing, though.
She's flexible.
As long as she doesn't step in the ring, I'm okay with her being a sex symbol as far as a manager's concerned.
Right.
It's when she steps in the ring that I have a problem with. It's like she's another one like Maxine Dupree, who she's a pretty face that really shouldn't be wrestling. So
no, CJ Perry is hot and flexible.
Yeah. But okay, so having said that, like I said, I just wanted to. What does AEW need to do going forward? The one thing I'll go first with something that I think they need to do. I think they need to get back to doing what they were doing before, which is offering themselves up as an alternative to WWE. A lot of the stuff that they've been doing lately has felt very, very WWE. I think they got to get back to what they were doing. And one of the things that they were doing was building these homegrown talents and pushing those guys. Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, MJF, Jungle Boy. They were doing a good job of like building these guys up. Okay. And a couple other people. Right now, there's a couple of young guys in AEW that really could use, a push. You've got and Ricky Starks, when Punk was in charge of Collision, he was getting a really big push. Okay, that's kind of cooled off now. Now Danielson took over. He kind of stepped in and was kind of pushing Ricky Starks for a little bit, but then suddenly they put the tag titles on him and Big Bill, and it feels like that push that Ricky Starks was getting has been kind of tamped down. I think they need to get back to doing stuff like that. Like, they need to get back to making it feel like they're building stars for the future, and a lot of those guys that we were talking about outside of MJF, they're not really being showcased anymore. They kind of got pushed aside. Like I said, the minute CM Punk showed up in AEW, and I understand why, because he was the biggest star they had. The minute he showed up in AEW, he became the face of the company.
Yeah.
So that's why
show around them.
Yeah. And that's why when this whole situation happened, it hurt so much, because you basically turned him into the face of your company, and then, it turned into a friggin' shit show.
They poo-pooed on the other guys.
Yeah. And a lot of the other guys kind of like we talked about what's happening right now in WWE with Punk showing up and potentially other guys showing up is guys like Drew and whatnot getting pushed down the card. That's kind of what happened in AEW. I think what they need to do now is they need to start pushing those guys back up. That's the first thing I think. What's something that you think they need to do?
They need to get all this resolved with Warner Brother Discovery and get a streaming for their library or whatever they want to do. If it's Max, whatever, get that thing settled as soon as possible. And announce that MJF has signed a contract.
Yeah, it's that's a situation. That's another situation. That is a potential problem that I think they're facing, because right now, the shakeup over in WWE changed a lot of things. SmackDown moving from Fox to Raw, and then now Raw being shopped around to other places, including Warner Discovery. Warner Discovery is one of the top bidders for Raw, and I was watching JD from New York, and one of the questions was asked is that if Warner Discovery does sign that deal with WWE for Raw, does that kill AEW? And I'm like, I don't think it kills AEW, but it seriously hamstrings them. And I think that's a part of what's going on right now is I think Warner Discovery, because we thought the deal with I thought the deal with Warner Discovery and AEW was up this year. It's actually up at the end of next year. So what's happening, I think, is Warner Discovery is waiting to see what happens with Raw. They're waiting till the first of the year to see where Raw lands. I do think that FX jumped ahead of Warner Discovery as far as the top bidder right now, which is interesting because Fox, they said they wanted to get out of the wrestling business because they were disappointed with the numbers that they were getting from SmackDown.
Right.
Because they were promised in the beginning, they were promised between 3 and 3.5 million viewers on regular for SmackDown, and they didn't quite get those numbers. I think they were between like 2.5 and 3. So they paid $500 million a year. They had paid $500 million a year for 5 years, and didn't get what they wanted. And then when WWE came back to them to renegotiate, WWE wanted another 40%. They wanted to kick it up to $680 million. And that's the main reason why Fox kicked them off and said, no, we're not interested in that. But according to multiple reports, including Sean Ross Sapp and Dave Meltzer, Punk showing up on Raw and the spike that Raw got when he showed up has now rekindled interest from companies that before were kind of like, we're done with this, including Fox.
Yep.
And if they can get Raw for less than what they were getting SmackDown for, because Raw is kind of like the lesser show, but if they could get Raw for say like 400 million, or even if they get them for 500 million. That's something that they might be interested in looking at now, especially with Punk being part of the mix. But when it comes to AEW, and if that, like I said, and that situation is because right now AEW gets 48 million from Warner Discovery, and I think they got an additional 12 million for Collision. For the new show, so that would put them at like 60 million. And the number they were asking for, I believe, was between 250 and 300 million. That's what they wanted to go up from that 48 million to 250, between 250 and 300 million. And they were kind of waiting to see what happened, and they were also kind of waiting to see what would happen with the Raw deal,
right?
Because the more money that they get for Raw and SmackDown, the more money AEW can ask for, because of like these guys got this much for that show, here's how much we want for this show. But if Warner but I think this might come back to bite him in the ass, because if Warner Discovery ends up signing up with ends up getting Raw, that's going to seriously hurt how much money AEW is going to get from them. So, but I do think that like whatever the situation, they need to figure out that TV deal, and so that they can start planning for the future. I think you're right on that. I think that's a big deal. Big Daddy said, Hughes Finland said AEW needs to revive their tag division for sure. Both tag titles and trios are ice cold right now. I agree. I do think that, because that was one of the again, AEW going back to one of the things that was kind of their identity was tag team wrestling was a big deal, was a huge deal in AEW when they first got there because Bucks were part of the mix, and they brought in all these really dynamic tag teams to have all these cool tag team matches up against. And lately, I agree. I think it feels like the tag belts have kind of been pushed to the side. So I think that's true. I think that's they need to kind of put tag team wrestling front and center again. I think that, and both sets of like the 6-man tag. The 6-man tag to me has never felt as anywhere near as important. And I think part of it is because they have 2 sets of 6-man tag belts. They've got the ROH 6-man tag and they've got the AEW 6-man tag. That's a belt that I wouldn't mind them combining and have them defended on both shows in both companies.
Yeah, they should have moved Ring of Honor to TV.
Well, from what I understand, Tony tried to get a TV deal with Ring of Honor and he couldn't get it done. But I think one of the big things, I don't think the Honor Club thing is a bad idea. But if you're not going to include all of the pay-per-views with it, if you're only going to have certain ones, I think that's going to hamstring the number of people that are going to be willing to purchase it. I think you got to kind of do what the WWE's done with their, quote unquote premium live events. That if you get Peacock, you get all of them.
Yep.
So they need to do the same thing with Ring of Honor. I think that would kindle more interest in Ring of Honor. Excuse me there. But yeah, I agree. Like again, going back to, they need to get back to their roots and get back to their identity. I agree with Hicksville, and they need to reemphasize tag team wrestling. And that being said, do they go out and they start signing some more of these guys to like one of the big things is, are they going to sign Dolph? And I think normally I'm not down with them picking up every friggin' person that gets released from WWE or New Japan or what have you. Picking up Dolph, I think would be a good idea because it's a natural pairing with him and his brother. So right there's a new tag team, and I would push them as a tag team. I know Dolph has been a singles guy for most of his career. Screw that, man. Make him a tag team.
They need to quit signing people.
I agree with that, and they actually need to release some people.
Yes.
Their roster is bloated.
What they really should do is get back in bed with Impact and NWA, MLW, whatever, and truly have a all in with all these promotions.
I agree. That's another thing. That's one other thing I was gonna mention is one of the things that we really liked about AEW was that they were like what made All In, and All In is what made the original All In is what created AEW. Was it almost felt like the territories again, where you had all these companies working together. All In, that's what All In should be. Okay, if you're going to have it at Wembley, that's fine. Have it at Wembley, what have you. But you need to have more crossover. We know they're going to have crossover with New Japan. Their relationship with New Japan is solid. I agree with you. I think they need to reach out to NWA. Actually, the company that I would really like to see them crossover with it in All In is AAA and MLW. I think a crossover promotion with show with AAA and MLW would be huge. Would be massive. And Impact, there's a lot of good stuff in Impact. And there's a lot of guys in AEW that like working with Impact. So I think again, they need to get back to what got them to the dance in the first place.
Yes.
And the way that they were doing things when they first started is what set them apart from WWE. And like we said, the three things that they really did that were very different from everybody else was building these new homegrown talents, making tag team wrestling a centerpiece of your program, and then working with other companies, working with other promotions. They need to get back to those three things. They need to reestablish their identity. Now, I don't know how badly they've burned their bridges with companies like NWA and Impact, but right now, I think the time is ripe, especially with the troubles that NWA has been having, and with MLW MLW's like kind of they just recently settled their lawsuit with WWE. MLW is kind of back on the rise again. TN Impact went back to the TNA brand. They're kind of on the rise again. I think now's the time to do that. Now's the time to reestablish those connections. And this time, there has to be reciprocity, because before it was AEW was benefiting and was the one that was benefiting the most, and everybody else and the other companies were just kind of like picking up the scraps. So I think they need to get back to that all-in feeling. Big Daddy said the first couple of years AEW were good, much needed, viable alternative, but now it's just a cluster. Yeah. And I think, and a lot of it stems from the fact that when CM Punk showed up, he immediately became the face of the company, and Tony started building everything around him. So that when that situation happened, the center's gone, everything collapsed.
And like it or not, I mean, you may like, you may not, but WWE has 7 hours of programming on TV, and NXT is only going to get better with it being on the CW.
Yep. that relationship's perfect.
You either need to turn Ring of Honor into a developmental property,
yep,
like NXT, or you need to have another show like NXT for the talent that you have that's bloated the roster.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree, Hicksville, and TK Klein Impact on their show probably didn't help that relationship. No, it didn't. And that and the situation with Guevara what kind of like killed that relationship. So Big Teddy says, I think they've ruined MJF from what he was. Big say, I'm gonna tell you right now, man, I understand kind of like, doing this tweener shit that they're doing with MJF. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it's something that should have ended when he and Cole had their match, and Max was gonna hit him in the back, and Cole was like, "Just do what you gotta do." If it was me, I would have had Max hit him.
Yep.
Because MJF, like we've talked about this, like we talked about people like Ric Flair, we talked about Charlotte Flair. His MJF's natural state is a heel. He is when he's a heel. When he's a pure heel, he's one of, if not the best heel in the business. Hands down, bar none. As a tweener, he's kind of I mean, he's still he's popular, but he doesn't have that feel, man. Yeah, same here. The bromance thing, I think it would have been better if it had been Max manipulating Cole. I really do. And I think what they're going to do, and from what I understand, this whole thing with turning Max into a tweener was Chris Jericho's idea. And that feels like a Jericho thing, because Jericho just flipped. And this is one of the things about Jericho that I've actually had issues with, especially recently, is the way Jericho just flip-flops back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay. He's one of the few people that can do that, but even he, in the last few years, the rate that he's doing it at, it just doesn't feel right. And to me, the guild, like, again, I use this term a lot, the guild's off the lily with this whole bromance thing, and they need to pull the plug on it. Max needs to go back to being the rat bastard that he was, because he was the heel that we loved to hate. He was the new Ric Flair, and I don't like where they're going right now. I think it's stunted their growth. Hicksville says MGF's got that Cena rub now. He's fine for now. I feel like it's diminishing returns now, though. Yeah, and that's the thing. He's not popping ratings because before he like Max was like he was money on the mic and he was always like the top segment, and now it just feels like more of the same. It's for the Iron Claw movie. That's what somebody else said. Is that was the reason why Jericho said it would be good for him to be a tweener, was because he's in the Iron Claw movie. But from what I understand, his role in the movie is not that big. So it's
Yeah, they cut. From what I heard, they cut out.
Like half of
most of what he was supposed to be in there for.
Yeah. But getting back to and I've never understood that, and that's the same reason that Cody didn't want to go heel, is because he thought it was going to hurt his charity work, and I'm like, dude, no, it's not. It's real life and it's cave. It's like, there's a difference, man. Isn't he a producer too? I don't know. I'm not sure. I have to look that up. But so we agree on the getting back to what the three things that kind of made them different from WWE. Building up pushing that homegrown young talent, building those guys up. Tag team wrestling is a central focus for your show. And what else? What other things do? And then of course, they got to get that deal. They got to get that deal solidified. What else do you think Tony needs to do? Like one of the things, and we've beaten this. I don't want to spend too much time on it, just because we've beaten it like a dead horse. Is he needs to surrender some of the power behind the scenes? He's wearing all the hats. He needs to hire himself a general manager. So that's another thing that I'm gonna throw in there, and then we'll just move on from that. What else do you think he needs to do? What else do you think they need to do? I'll throw one more thing.
Get back to serious wrestling. All this goofy, flippy, floppy storyline shit is just like. And well, if you're going to, said it before, you're going to have a pay-per-view. Start making the matches for it ahead of time. Don't wait to announce matches a week or a couple days before the pay-per-view comes out.
Yeah. You got
to should be build up to these matches.
Yeah. Like right now, look at what's going on with Wrestle Kingdom. Wrestle Kingdom isn't for another month. And we've already got the announcement of all those matches, and some of those matches are friggin' dream matches, dude. So they can take that thing and they can build it up. New Japan does this thing they call the road to Wrestle Kingdom. And it lasts for a month. That's what AEW needs to do. They need to start building this shit up and start and like pull the trigger on some of these feuds and stuff, so that they can build up. And once the match happens, people are invested in it. You can't get invested in something if it happens 3 days before the friggin' show. But I'll tell you something that I really think that they need to do, and tell me if you think you agree with me. They need to kill Rampage. Rampage doesn't need to exist. That's money. Now, I understand that decision isn't AEW's. That decision is Warner Discovery's. But I feel like
Rampage should be your NXT.
Should Rampage be the NXT, or should Ring of Honor be the NXT? I think what you should do is you should change. If you're not going to kill Rampage, turn Rampage into Ring of Honor. That'll be your Ring of Honor show. That's and it'll be both. It'll be Ring of Honor on television. Okay, so because obviously Warner Discovery's wants to keep that hour of television, because if the ratings that Ring of Honor that Rampage were bringing in was a problem, they would have killed it a long time ago. So they're okay with even though the ratings aren't great, the slot that it's in is never great. So it's contact. I would either kill Rampage, or I would turn it into Ring of Honor and have that be your NXT, your developmental. And I think Big Daddy's agreeing with me. He said ROH should be the NXT of AEW. I agree.
It should.
But what do you think about?
I don't know if you call it Ring of Honor Rampage or just leave it as, or just get rid of it altogether.
I would just call it ROH Rampage. And then I would start by calling it ROH Rampage, and then eventually just call it ROH Ring of Honor. And there you are. You're promoting Ring of Honor. You got those guys over there, and you can do those developmentals, and then you just kind of keep the same structure that's going on on Rampage, where it's a much faster paced show. But now but here's the thing. Now you're showcasing something different. Now you're showcasing the Ring of Honor talent, and it's different from AEW. And that's something, and that's another thing, is like all the shows need to feel different from each other. Collision needs to get back to being what Collision was. Remember how when Collision first came out, it felt completely different from Dynamite.
Right.
It felt like a more traditional wrestling show, and it was showcasing different people than you saw on Dynamite. And I think that was the strength of Collision. And we said when Collision first came out, for that first 5 or 6 weeks, when Punk and Danielson and Dax Harwood were the guys who were in charge creatively over there, it felt like a completely different show, and it felt like the better of the two shows.
No, Collision was definitely better.
And then Kevin Kelly as the lead commentator.
Shivani should not be on there.
When they moved Tony Schiavone. Here's the thing. I like Tony Schiavone. Okay. When they moved Tony Schiavone over there and had him become the lead commentator over Kevin Kelly, that pissed me off. I'm like, dude, why? Why are you? Kevin Kelly's the best friggin' commentator in the business today. Why is he playing second fiddle to Tony Schiavone? That's friggin' stupid. That to me smells of a power play. And I'm not happy about it. Because they killed, Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness. They were a great dude. Those two were playing off of each other fantastically.
That's all you need.
Perfect. That's all you need, and that's all you needed. And now it feels like another version of the Dynamite team. And I'm telling you right now, man, I think when Punk got pushed out and when Punk got released, I think Tony Khan made a power. I think Tony Schiavone made a power play. And that's why he's the lead commentator over there, and Kevin Kelly is playing second fiddle to him, which is stupid.
And I think if you're going to put a streaming service with AEW, like on Max, move Ring of Honor, have Ring of Honor Rampage, have AEW on Max, have Ring of Honor pay-per-views on Honor Club only.
Mm-hmm.
Do a combo. You can either get AEW for $10 on Max, which is I think what WWE is on Peacock, what Ring of Honor is right now on Honor Club. You get that for $10, or you can get Honor Club and AEW for $15.
Yeah, I think they definitely need some kind of a package.
Just paying $20 for both of them. Put both of them together, get both of them for $15, because Disney does ESPN and Hulu with Disney in a package deal.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that getting that streaming deal is crucial too. You got to get that library out there. But when it comes to Ring of Honor, man, they need to all the pay-per-views need to be included with Ring of Honor. And the other thing too is stop defending Ring of Honor belts on AEW television. You need to give people a reason to watch Ring of Honor, to watch to pick it up. And if you're defending your titles and everything on AEW, what do they need to go watch it on Ring of Honor for? So I agree with you, Big Daddy. Dude, I've wanted the Von Erichs to show up in AEW for a long time. Because again, they're a tag team, and I want to see the tag team dynamic take control again in AEW. But yeah, tomorrow should be very interesting. But yeah, I think we've touched on at least what you and I think is the most important things that Tony needs to do going forward. I think I feel like he's trying to do some of that. Whether or not he's doing it the way that we said, or that he's going to do all of the things that we said, remains to be seen. I do think that he's making some moves to kind of shore up the damage and try to move forward. Like I think signing Will Ospreay is going to be a big deal. I think that's going to help a lot. But how he structures things going forward is going to be I think the most telling factor. And we'll see. So next, real quick, just on a different note, next week we're going to do our wrap up for the year. Do our top 5 list and our best of and worst of for 2023.
Yeah.
And I'll be doing the Prince Nana dance with the turban that still hasn't come in.
You might as well go to Party City and get one.
That's what I'm thinking about doing, man. It just sucks because the one that I ordered was pretty cool. It's got the little dangly shit and all that stuff.
And they better hit a home run or close to it with World's End.
Yeah. I think World's End's going to be a good show, but I mean, we'll see, man. I think the devil thing is going to really hurt. But we'll see. But I think that's about it. Yep. No problem, Big Daddy. We'll see you next week, brother. See ya. Have a good night. And same thing to everybody else. Appreciate everybody here. Big Daddy, Hicks Villain, Leg Kick, Maldacito, Johnny. Thanks for being here. Hope you get better. Courtney, Invader Man 14, all of Frank's Piata crew.
Yeah,
Aiden Genesee.
Yeah.
Come back, guys.
Yeah.
We do this every week and we have fun. So
tell your friends, man. Let's get our subscription up.
Yep. Let's get it going. But appreciate everyone's been here, guys. Like I said, keep watching wrestling, and we'll keep coming back here and we'll talk about it. And we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one, guys. Bye.